Welcome to That's My Biz, the Internet Business Showcase, where we bring exposure to products, services, and special causes of local businesses and organizations. Thank you so much for joining us. We are coming to you live from the BizLinks TV studio. Brought to you by Southeast Computers, repairs, upgrades, custom builds, and restorations. SoutheastComputersATL.com. Hi everyone, I'm Pamela Alexander, your host, and welcome to another episode of That's My Biz. As always, we enjoy bringing to you the wonderful businesses, nonprofits, and associations that we meet when we're out there networking. We want to remind you that you can catch this episode again at www.bizlinks.tv. Also go to our YouTube channel, youtube.com/bizlinkstv. Make sure you subscribe, make sure you give us some thumbs up, and make sure that you also provide some comments. And don't forget our Facebook page at facebook.com/bizlinkstv. Without further ado, I want to introduce our guest, Mr. Jim Jubelirer. Welcome.
Well, thank you. Thank you for having me today.
Thank you. We are looking forward to sharing Jim with you today and all of his great knowledge and his company, Jubelirer Results Group. So we're going to tell you a little bit about him because Jim's mission is to help leaders improve their business performance and personal satisfaction. So we're looking forward to hear exactly how we can do some of that. He's an executive coach at the Duke Leadership Program at Fuqua School of Business. He also has a Jubelirer Results Group that brings the best practices in both business and leadership development to business owners who have at least 50 employees and are eager to make a long-term commitment to grow. And he's a certified gazelle coach as well. So we're going to dive right in so that you can learn what all of that means and how it can help you and your business. So Jim, to start out with, tell everyone a little bit about yourself and your background.
Great. Well, thank you very much. I'm based up in the Research Triangle area of North Carolina. And I've been there for 18 years, so it feels like home.
Okay.
I didn't go to school at UNC or Duke, which, some people want to know about that.
Right, yeah. What's wrong with you?
But I root for whichever team is winning.
Okay.
And that has worked very well for me. In the years that we've been there, we've had a lot of national championships. So it's a great area, and I feel very fortunate to be living there.
Great, fantastic. So now let's get in, because one thing that I mentioned that I know a lot of people may not be familiar with, and it ties into what you and your business do, the Gazelle program. Kind of explain that a little bit for everyone.
Sure. Gazelles is based on a book called Mastering the Rockefeller Habits, written by Vern Harnish. And it's the best-selling book on business strategy for mid-sized growth companies. It's very, very popular. Vern founded a group called the Entrepreneurs Organization, EO, which is the preeminent group that people who have successful companies join. And it basically brings together a whole bunch of different practices to really help companies that are in momentum, they're hiring, they have people, they have customers, they have opportunities, they need cash, how to keep the engine going, but doing it in a way that they have a really good strategic long-term focus. What I found, Pam, is that people tend to overestimate what they can do in the short term. That's the old New Year's Eve, I'm going to go to the gym, and by the end of January they don't. But at the same time, people underestimate what they can do in the long term. And when you really set those long-term focus and those intentions and align your short-term strategies to build towards that, you really can create breakthrough results. And that's the business I'm in.
Wow, I love that. So now you work with businesses that have, you said about 50 people, at least 50 employees. At what point in their growth process do you normally see that it takes them to get to that level of being that size business?
Yeah, well, I work with smaller businesses as well. But once you hit that size, you start to have people coming to work who you never met. And when the business owner walks down the halls of the office and like, "Are you delivering a package?" And I'm like, "No, I've been here for 6 months." Then you really need to start focusing on culture. So I study Coach K, Mike Krzyzewski, the winningest coach ever. And he's really a maniac about culture and systems. He says you have to constantly adapt what you do for the circumstances, but if it's your system and your culture is in place, you can actually be more adaptable. And he's had a lot of news recently because, football season's starting, but where I come from, basketball season's almost starting. And the guy who won the championship for them last year, when they weren't even supposed to be in the mix, was their 8th person. They lost 2 scholarship players. They only had 8. And the 8th guy was this kid. He was a freshman. He had never played before. And when it came time for the title game, he was the one who won it for him. And Coach K says it's culture that wins championships.
Okay.
So when you have a 50-person company, to get to 50 people, it's nose to the grindstone. You're selling, you're delivering, you're working, whatever it is. But at some point, you need to pivot into being a manager, and then from there into being a leader.
Okay.
And so that's why we have such focus on systems and the culture when a company hits that size.
Well, I love that because, of course, immediately put to mind the E-Myth, and in talking with smaller business and entrepreneurs and getting to that manager concept and thinking about that even as a small company so that you're more prepared when you get to be kind of that mid-sized company as well. Another great book that I know you all talk about is Scaling Up. Talk about that a little bit and how you tie that into what you do.
Yeah, great. Scaling Up is our new book. It came out this year, and it's based on that. So thousands of companies have used these principles.
Okay.
I mean, it's one thing to have a good idea, but when you actually go out and do it and you see people getting results, that's really satisfying.
Right.
And then it just grows from there. So there's about only 150 people worldwide that have been certified to be a Gazelles coach, and we all get together twice a year. We share notes, we have a forum, we do a lot of things to grow our own learning. And Scaling Up the book represents what we've learned and distilled, or what our clients have learned from applying the Rockefeller Habits principles. So we talk about the Rockefeller Habits, but we also talk about scaling up, and it refers to a whole body of work that we do.
Okay. Now, a lot of businesses and a lot of coaches have different approaches to the growing and the learning. What makes what you all provide different?
Well, what makes it different is that it works.
Okay.
It's proven, it's effective, and we're always focused on results. So we're not hung up on what does it look like or following some formula. It's all about what do we need to do now. So I typically go off-site with my clients for 2 or 3 days to have a strategic planning session. And for many companies, they've never done that before. They've never just said, we're going to go for 3 days, we're going to sit somewhere nice, we're going to really open up our minds, get to know each other a little better. And by the end of that, so there's some blue sky work, but by the end of it, we're really focused on the plan. You know, this year, this quarter, this week. Who needs to do what by when? So a lot of it is about execution. I'd love to say it's sexy and there's some secret sauce, but a lot of it is about a relentless focus on execution. But if you just run around doing all the time without the bigger context, you won't really get where you could get otherwise. So it's a balance of both of those.
I love this because it's good information, not just for some of the medium-sized business. I know several of our viewers are, the micro entrepreneurs and smaller businesses, but I mean, this is great information for you all as well. So don't think this content is for you, because having that mindset at the beginning can really help you grow and get that business to that next level. Now, do you primarily work with the kind of the CEOs in the C-suite, the leadership team, or who are the people within the company that you're working with?
Yeah, well, good point, Pam, about everything I'm describing is just as true for a solopreneur working in her second bedroom as it is for a 50 or 100-person company. Now, if you're the solopreneur, you don't need to go off and have a 3-day retreat. But, once a year to take a day and just be in silence and be thinking about your business, it's all the same principles.
And I love that, because we even do that within our company. And, we go off, our C-suite goes off, and we take those days to really stop and plan, evaluate where we are, where are we going, making sure that we're moving along. So I love that, and love that the larger companies because you often hear about people doing larger companies doing retreats, but you need that also within those small businesses. So now when we talk about the results that your clients are getting, because what is a good return on investment? What's that good result, or how is that measured for the businesses? Right.
So you were also asking how I work with people as well, your previous question, and I typically work with the owner or the CEO and their leadership team. And we get together once a month for a day for our planning meetings. Some companies we do it quarterly. So we do quarterly or monthly planning meetings, and that's all day, and it's a continuation of the conversation we began at the retreat. So we may get some of that long-term stuff done, but then we get into the details, and there's no shortage of details. You have customers, you have employees, you have products, you have facilities, you have external competitors, a lot of stuff to be working on all the time. So it's with the leadership team once a month on an ongoing basis.
So you're making sure the implementation actually happens. You don't just go off to retreat, do all these great plans, and then nothing ever happens, but you're actually making sure that they're implementing.
Right. I'm like the chief strategy officer that they don't have in-house. And that's a very important and very effective role. So in terms of talking about results, what we do is we set very clear and specific goals. So what if we opened a new city? I have 2 clients now, coincidentally, that are both wanting to open up. They're in the South here, and they're spreading west. They both are opening in Little Rock. So we have the Little Rock strategy, 2 different businesses unrelated to each other. But when they open a new market, that might be worth millions in new revenue to them. And if we get there, just say 6 months earlier, and then get to the full revenue run rate 6 months earlier than they would otherwise, that's worth millions of dollars to them. And that's just an example of a kind of pivot that 2 specific companies are making right now.
Great. So then you help them with figuring out kind of what those measurements are going to be for their success as well.
Yeah. Another one of my favorite questions. You're a great interviewer.
Thank you.
So what you're asking about are what we call in the business world key performance indicators. KPIs are the buzzwords, but those are just the numbers in your business. And in order to, the number one number you want to know is how much am I taking home? That's what it's all about. But before you get to take it home, there has to be profits in the business. And before there's profits in the business, there have to be sales. But before there are sales, there have to be proposals or hits to your website. Those are what we call the leading indicators. And one of the key things I do is you have to know the numbers in your business. If I want to know how much revenue I'll be making 3 months from now, I can look at how many meetings with new business owners I'm doing this month. And I can predict with a high degree of accuracy, if I meet with 8 business owners this month, I'll be adding this much in revenue within the next 3 or 4 months. So you have to know the numbers in your business.
I love that. So you all make sure that you write that one down. I mean, that has just really been a key theme when it comes to truly taking your business to the next level, but preparing and making sure that you're capturing that data now. I think so many businesses kind of just dive in to running the business. They get caught up in running the business that they never stop to really get that true picture and understand what does it take, how much money does it cost me to get a new customer in the first place. So how much work do I need to do? So with that, when you work with the businesses, what kind of tools do you utilize? Because we implemented a great tool with learning how to start tracking this data and looking at it, analyzing it. What tools do you all work with your clients in using to help them get to this information?
Yeah, we use a wide range of tools. I bring the best practices in business development and leadership development, so I have a whole bunch of things I work with people on. I said the coaches get together twice a year for a meeting. As part of that meeting, we also have a public conference sponsored by Fortune magazine. It's called the Fortune Growth Summit. We're going to have 1,000 people in Dallas in next month. In October. We're going to our closing speakers, Mark Cuban, the owner of the Mavericks, at American Airlines Arena, and then we're going to be his guest for the basketball game afterwards. So that'll be a nice thing. So at our public conference, we hear from the best thought leaders in business, and we're constantly listening to what's out there, what's working, who's doing good, how are they applying it. So we bring all those tools to our clients.
Well, I love that. So a lot of resource, and definitely just keeping your pulse on what's going on in your particular industry so that you can help those businesses grow. I love that. Now, also, Jim, I mentioned earlier that you are the executive coach at the Duke Leadership Program at Fuqua School of Business. Tell everyone what that is and what's all that program about.
Yeah, well, Duke, of course, is one of the top business schools in the country, in the world, and we have a series of executive education programs. Some of them are 3 and 5 days long, all the way up to an 18-month global executive MBA. And in the leadership program, we have a leadership model where people take what's called a 360 survey.
Okay.
And in a big company, what that is you fill out, you rate yourself, you give it to your boss, your peers, and the people that report to you, and you get this holistic 360-degree view of your leadership.
Okay.
And then the feedback from that forms the basis of our one-on-one coaching after that.
Well, I like that because so often people just get the view from either their direct reports or from their manager, but getting that full 360 makes a big difference, and really I'm sure opens a lot of eyes once they get the results.
Exactly.
Yeah, yeah. So now you also are known as the Certified Why Guy. I love it. The Certified WHY, the Certified Why Guy. How do you help businesses understand, organizations and individuals learn their why?
Yeah,
that's a challenge.
Yes. This is a different set of tools called Discover Your Why. And we've developed, my business partner has been at this a long time and developed a simple formula. So in a 10-minute conversation with you, I can help you discover your why. Because we have a language that we use that talks about it. And when you know your why, and then when we do it in team workshops, how the why of each person contributes to the why of the business, that's really powerful. You can create an inspired team.
I love that because that's one of the first things that we always ask businesses and hosts that we work with is, what is your why? Because what's going to keep you going when it gets challenging? Because most things are not overnight successes, so what's going to keep you going when you reach some of those roadblocks, when you get those no's, when you're talking about sales? So truly understand and uncovering that why. And oftentimes people give you different answers that really aren't the why.
Exactly.
So I like being able to reach out and have someone that can help individuals with that.
Yeah, that's a very powerful process.
Yeah.
When I discovered my why, my business had a 5-fold increase, and it's a lot easier to focus, and almost more importantly, it's a lot easier to say no to the things that aren't critical.
Yes.
So if there's one tip I were to leave everybody, it would be make a list of your stops, meaning what do I need to stop doing? What do I need to say no to? And that will free up a lot more time to go after the bigger picture goals.
That is awesome. I mean, that is worth the price of admission, everyone. So for you all viewing this, make sure you make that note, because that is certainly once we learned, what it was we needed to focus on, it was so much easier to say, no, we don't need to do this. There's so many great distractions that come about that really look good and really could help you, but are they, moving you along that path that you need to move along? So I love that piece to it. And then lastly, the last thing I wanted to mention is that you're also an angel investor.
Yes.
So now, what's some of the advice that you give to people that want to start a business?
Yeah, well, people say, oh, so you work with startups. In my business coaching, I work with larger, more established companies, but then I consult with people who either have businesses or want to consider starting them. And entrepreneurship is not for everyone.
Right.
It is a rocky road, and your chances of success go way up if you go into it with a good plan, adequate capitalization, and a good support system and realistic expectations.
Wow. Love that. So, Jim, because I'm hearing all the great things that you're doing and the things how you're helping the small businesses, but kind of tell everyone your why and what led you into business coaching.
Yeah, why, thank you. I had a big chunk of my career doing customer experience, customer satisfaction consulting for big companies. So if you ever went on a cruise with Royal Caribbean Cruise Lines and you got off the ship and you got home, you got a survey in the mail, that was from me.
Okay.
I sent that. And I set up the customer satisfaction tracking for GE when they launched Six Sigma, and spent a big chunk of my career doing that kind of work. And it was always about, how does business work? What does the customer want? How do we shape the larger companies? And in 2009, I had a chance to go in a new direction. I grew up in a small business, and I've always been interested in entrepreneurship. And I've always been doing coaching, but it wasn't called that
Okay,
really.
right.
And I put all of those together to launch my coaching practice.
Okay.
So this is really a combination of all the things I've been doing for a long time.
Wow. So some great passion, and nothing's better than working with a business and an entrepreneur that is doing what their passion is. They're not just starting a business, but it's their passion. It's the thing you'd be doing if this isn't what you were doing as your day job. So having someone that does that. So make sure that you reach out to Jim. And with that, Jim, tell everyone how they can get in touch with you.
Jubelirer Results Group. My name isn't quite as bad to spell as Krzyzewski, and the beauty of Google now is you can misspell my name any way you could go about misspelling it, and it still brings back the same search results. So it's jubilierresultsgroup.com, and I'm pretty reachable and have a fairly big social presence.
Great. And everyone will definitely have it down here in the video for you as well, so that you can make sure that you reach out to Jim. Jim, we appreciate you coming out today and joining us. Are there any other parting words that you'd like to share with our viewers?
Well, I really appreciate your interview questions and your time today, and I just want to encourage everybody that goal setting and sticking with them really works, even when it feels like you're not really getting where you want, because small wins build momentum. And then momentum builds big wins.
Wow, I love
so we're
that.
always looking to be building those small wins for that next thing that's the overnight sensation, but really was 20 years in the making.
Wow, that's fantastic, Jim. Thank you so much for coming down to Atlanta and for joining us today, and just for sharing some of your knowledge as a tidbit with the audience. But we want to make sure that you all do reach out to Jim, find more about how you can truly grow your business, find that why, how you can get to the results and the ROI that you need to grow your business and take that business to the next level.
Great. Thank you.
Absolutely. Everyone, I'm Pamela Alexander, your host of That's My Biz. Remember, again, you can watch this episode at www.bizlinks.tv. Don't just watch it yourself. Make sure that you pass it on to others. Share it with some other businesses and colleagues that really need this information as well. You can go to our YouTube channel, youtube.com/BizLinksTV. Subscribe, give us some thumbs up, and also please share some comments with us. We'd love to pass that on to our guests as well. And then lastly, don't forget our Facebook channel at facebook.com/BizLinksTV. With BizLinks TV Network, remember, we're exposing your business to the world.
10 years to learn the business. 10 years to make a name. 1 year on your own. It takes time to build a small business, but only 60 days to transform it with email marketing from Constant Contact. Sign up with Constant Contact and get 60 days of free email marketing to generate referrals, connect with clients, and build the business you've always wanted. Constant Contact. Start your 60-day free trial today.
Thank you for joining us. Today's show can be viewed on demand on our website at www.bizlinks.tv. If you are interested in having your products, services, or special cause showcased on our program, submit an inquiry to that'smybiz@bizlinks.tv. In addition, information on advertising and hosting your own show can be found on our website at bizlinks.tv.